Also, I think just on South Street, Open Harvest and us, we have a very equal, kind of a relationship, like a neighbor kind of situation where, you don't think too poorly about your neighbor. I mean, we couldn't think better of Open Harvest, and we respect each other highly. And also, I'm also part of the South Street Business and Civic Association, where we all work together. And I think, just working together and making those personal relationships and getting to know people on a personal level, even an emotional level, really helps to keep business in your heart, not just in your mind or in your pocketbook.
Now, when you talk about the free trade coffees and the teas, how much do your customers know? I mean, is there information available for people, or do you feel that people come in for that reason, or?
Well, I think actually we could probably do more, and Meadowlark could do more as far as promoting the fact that we have fair trade coffee. For me, there was no choice in the matter. We had to do fair trade coffee or no other coffee at all. I think a lot of people being over at next door at Open Harvest, a lot of our customers are Open Harvest customers, so obviously they're familiar with the fair trade idea. I think, sometimes when I talk to people about the coffee, I'm like, yeah, that's fair trade, that's organic. It's shade grown too, and shade growing means that there's no clear cutting of the rainforest for the coffee plantation. They actually grow the coffee under the canopy of the rainforest. So that helps with migratory birds and other species so they don't go extinct. But as far as promoting the idea of fair trade, I think it's highly permeated in the Meadowlark community, not even the Meadowlark community, but the community that Meadowlark's a part of. And I think it's being promoted on a daily basis. I was actually interviewed by a lady at the Daily Nebraskan about it, because I don't think they have a lot of fair trade coffee at the university. And she was interested in promoting that. So I think people are becoming more and more aware of where the items that they use daily are coming from, and they're becoming more concerned, especially for their future, for their grandchildren, because if we abuse the land and the people, it's sooner or later it will collapse. So.
Well, Adam, we've talked a lot about, you have good products and, fair trade coffees and teas at Meadowlark. Now I want you to shift gears a little bit and talk about Meadowlark's role in the community. I mean, you can't go past the shop without seeing this calendar of events that's going on, and it just seems like there's a little more going on there than just selling coffee and tea.
Yeah, we also have a focus on supporting the art community too here in Lincoln. We have a art show that rotates monthly. We sell the art there, so people can come in like, hey, I really like that. How much is it? We only get like 15%, which I guess is good. The artist said you need to take a commission. We actually didn't want to take any sort of commission. They're like, no, you should take something. So we agreed to 15% of what is purchased. Usually a painting is like $100 to $300. So the artists make a living that way, even though they're not going to make a total living that way, but they can actually do something that they enjoy. Just like I love making coffee. They love making paintings, so it kind of extends a living towards them. We pay all of our musicians that come in. We have music almost every night, be it just someone at the piano that we pay to play, or actually more like featured acts like Lori McLean. Some other Spitfire Fiddle group played last night, the McNeelys, which are a really great band. We all support them, for supporting us. It's not only is it an economy of money, it's also an economy of support where they support us by doing a great show and bringing people in, and we support them by giving them a place to play. So it's really special that we've been successful in doing that, because I think typical business thinking would say you really got to focus on the bottom line, and I have. There's this idea of a triple bottom line, or where it's taking care of social responsibilities, taking care of environmental responsibilities, and taking care of financial responsibilities. So.
It's interesting. I was just going to ask that question. Some folks on here might think that businesses are only worried about the bottom line. So to hear you address that in a different way, I think might be refreshing. This might be a little bit of a direct question, but how have things been going? I mean, is the Meadowlark going to be around for a while?
I believe so. Our sales have gone up almost every month. I think there was one month where we had less sales than the month before. And so they've been steadily creeping up. I thought we were going to plateau at the beginning of the school year, but we're still trucking along, really. I mean, we're still, I mean, the fact that we haven't really pushed the idea that we're selling fair trade coffee and organic coffee, that just means that once we start promoting that, more people want to come in. I think the thing that's really that's really supporting us now is just the community, and I think there's still more to be done. I still want to get more and more organic things in. I want to get more and more fair trade things in. I want to get, really great bands. I want to get regional bands in. I want to get, the greatest artists, and I want to keep making the best drinks. And I think it's important to not just focus on profit, because if your business is a good idea, then it's going to make profit. And I think if you build on the idea of your business, then profit will supply itself, and then take care of those other things with social, your social responsibility as a business owner and your environmental responsibility as a business owner. You take care of those things too, and I think people will understand that, and they'll want to support you because you know that you're a force for good in the city or even in the world.
Let's talk a little bit. You have a lot of passion, and obviously your business means more to you than just, I mean, you talked about the triple bottom line as opposed to just money being the only factor. What is being a force for good? What does that mean to you?
Force for good is a force for good is almost synonymous with a force or being sustainable, being a good citizen of the planet. I see, going back to egalitarianism, or just believing in things as more of a community. I think all creatures are equal in their own way. I think we have no more right to this planet than an aardvark or a beaver or a tuna. And we need to share this. And the way I see our culture right now, we're just converting all of the biomass into human mass, and our population is soaring. And I think being a force for good, or just a force of sustainability, is preeminent in the responsibility of the people living now, not just our generation, but the people who are older than us and the people that are younger than us. I think we really need to start focusing on ideas of sustainability if we're going to survive as a culture and even as a species. So when I say force for good, I'm almost pretty much saying a force of sustainability. It has no real moral connotation, more of just like a lifestyle connotation, which means, we can do this for a good amount of time without sucking up the planet and just turning it into our own greedy things.
On this topic of egalitarianism, you talked about the equality of everybody and the belief that we're all equal, including, animals and our environment and humans and all of the parts of our ecosphere, I guess. What about individuals in our society who have been subjugated? Whether you're a minority group, African Americans were once slaves, and now there's institutional racism, and they're clearly not equal in terms of having access, or women don't have equal access to power as men. How does your theory of egalitarianism make do for that? I'm
really glad you brought that up, because obviously the idea of egalitarianism is equality, and someone who doesn't have the same tint of skin as me, obviously that's just a single genetic trait, just like my color of my eyes. It's just a very easily identifiable and recognizable trait. And the same with women. It's one of the things you first notice about a person is if they're a man or a woman. And I think what we've done, I was talking to my coworker about this earlier. I think what we've done, what we kind of strive for sometimes as a culture, is to kind of homogenize things, and when